The speech that broke everything. The moment my brother pulled a ring box out of his pocket during his best man speech, I knew my wedding was about to be hijacked. 200 guests, $12,000 worth of flowers, catering, and a live band, 3 years of planning. And Tyler, my own brother, was about to propose to his girlfriend at my wedding reception. I watched in slow-motion horror as he got down on one knee, microphone still in hand, turning away from me and toward a blonde woman in a red dress sitting at table 7. The crowd gasped in delight. Someone screamed, "Oh my God!" My mother clasped her hands over her heart. "Madison Carter," Tyler announced, his voice booming through the speakers. "Will you make me the happiest man alive and marry me?" The blonde woman, Madison, apparently burst into tears and nodded frantically. "Yes, yes, oh my God, yes!" The crowd erupted in applause. People jumped to their feet. My Aunt Carol was crying. The photographer, who I'd paid $3,500 to capture my special moments, was now frantically snapping photos of my brother's proposal. I sat frozen at the head table, my untouched slice of wedding cake in front of me. My new husband, Alex, squeezed my hand under the table so hard I thought my fingers might break. Tyler slid the ring onto Madison's finger, pulled her into a dramatic kiss, and then turned back to the microphone with that $1,000,000 smile. "Sorry for stealing your thunder, Soph," he said, laughing like it was all a cute joke. "But hey, looks like Mom and Dad might get another wedding to plan." More applause, more cheers. My father stood up and hugged Tyler, clapping him on the back. My mother rushed over to embrace Madison, a woman she'd met exactly twice before tonight. And me? The actual bride? I sat there in my $4,000 dress, mascara starting to run, watching my wedding reception transform into Tyler's engagement party. But here's what Tyler didn't know. Here's what nobody in that Vineyard reception hall knew. 3 weeks earlier, I had received an anonymous email containing a video file. A video of my brother, Tyler, having sex with someone who definitely wasn't Madison. And that video was currently saved on a flash drive in my maid of honor's clutch. I caught my best friend Rebecca's eye across the room. She raised an eyebrow. "Do we do this?" I looked at the projector screen, still set up from our photo slideshow. I looked at my brother, basking in applause that should have been for me. I looked at Madison, admiring her new ring, completely unaware that her fiancé had cheated on her less than a month ago. I stood up. The room quieted slightly. All eyes turned to me. "Congratulations, Tyler," I said, my voice steady despite the rage building in my chest. "Since we're sharing special moments tonight, I have something to share, too." The golden child and the invisible daughter. To understand why I did what I did, you need to understand my childhood. You need to understand what it's like to grow up as the supporting actress in Tyler's one-man show. I was born Sophia Marie Harrison on June 3, 1992, in Austin, Texas. Tyler was born 2 years earlier, and from the moment I could form memories, I understood that he was special and I was there. Tyler was the golden child, the star athlete, the straight A student, the kid who could charm teachers, coaches, and every parent in the neighborhood. He played varsity football, ran track, served as student body president, and got a full scholarship to UT Austin. I was the quiet one, the bookworm, the girl who preferred art class to pep rallies. I got good grades, mostly A's, some B's, but nobody threw parties about it. I made the JV soccer team sophomore year and quit junior year because I was tired of being compared to Tyler's athletic legacy. Our parents, David and Sharon Harrison, loved us both. I don't doubt that, but they celebrated Tyler. They attended every single one of his football games, even away games 3 hours from home. They had the entire wall in our living room dedicated to his trophies and medals and newspaper clippings. My art, my poetry, my acceptance into a prestigious summer writing program? Those achievements got a, "That's great, honey," and a spot on the refrigerator with a magnet. By the time I was 15, I'd learned my role. Support Tyler, celebrate Tyler, never outshine Tyler. When I got accepted to NYU for creative writing with a partial scholarship, my parents were proud. But when Tyler got accepted to UT Austin's business school, they threw him a graduation party with 100 guests and a catered BBQ spread. I got a cake from Costco and dinner at Olive Garden. It's not that we love him more, my mother explained when I finally worked up the courage to say something. It's just that Tyler's accomplishments are more, visible. People understand football and business. They don't really understand poetry, sweetie. I moved to New York for college and barely came home. I built a life there, found my people, found my voice, found my career as a marketing copywriter. I met Alex at a friend's rooftop party in Brooklyn. He was a software engineer, funny and kind, and he thought my writing was brilliant. He was the first person who ever made me feel like I was the star of my own story. We dated for 3 years before he proposed. When he did, on the Brooklyn Bridge at sunset with a ring he'd saved for 6 months to buy, I cried for an hour. When I called to tell my parents, my mother answered, "Mom, Alex proposed. We're engaged." "Oh, Sophia, that's wonderful. Hold on, let me get your father. David, Sophia's engaged. Oh, honey, I'm so happy for you. Have you set a date? Oh, this is so exciting. Wait until I tell Tyler." She hung up before I could answer any of her questions. Tyler called me 20 minutes later. "Hey, Soph, Mom told me the news. Congrats." "Alex is a good guy." "Thanks, Ty. I'm really happy. Listen, I need to ask you something. When's the wedding?" "We're thinking next June. We haven't booked anything yet." "Perfect. Madison and I have been talking about getting engaged, too. We've been together 4 years, you know. But I don't want to steal your thunder or anything, so I figured I'd wait until after your wedding to propose. I should have seen it coming then, but I didn't." "That's really considerate, Tyler. Thanks." "Yeah, no problem. Hey, also, I assume I'm going to be your best man?" I paused. "Actually, Rebecca is my maid of honor. I was going to ask you to be one of my groomsmen, or Alex wants you to be his best man if you'd prefer." "His best man? I'm your brother." "I know, but Rebecca's my best friend, and whatever. It's fine. I'll do whatever you need. It's your day." The way he said "your day," with just a hint of resentment, should have been a red flag, but I ignored it. The email 3 weeks before my wedding at 11:43 p.m. on a Tuesday night, I received an email from an address I didn't recognize. Throwaway truth, 2020free@gmail.com. The subject line read, "You deserve to know the truth." I almost deleted it. It looked like spam. But something made me click. "Dear Sophia, I don't know you, but I know your brother Tyler. I'm sending you this because I believe you deserve to know who he really is before your family celebrates him further. The attached video was taken 3 weeks ago at a bachelor party in Las Vegas. I was there. I watched him cheat on his girlfriend Madison with a stripper named Crystal. He was drunk, but not so drunk that he didn't know what he was doing. I'm sending this to you anonymously because Tyler is friends with my boyfriend, and I can't be connected to this without destroying my relationship. But I couldn't stay silent. Madison seems like a nice person. She deserves better. Do with this information what you will. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news." A concerned stranger attached was a video file, Tyler Vegas MP4. My hands shook as I clicked it. The video was grainy, clearly shot on someone's phone from across a room, but it was unmistakably Tyler. His face, his tattoo on his left shoulder, his watch that our parents had given him for his 30th birthday. He was in a hotel suite, shirtless, making out with a brunette woman in a glittery bikini top. She was sitting on his lap. His hands were all over her. They were laughing, kissing, and then I closed my laptop. I sat in the dark living room of the apartment I shared with Alex, my stomach churning. Alex was asleep in the bedroom. It was a Tuesday night. We both had work in the morning. Everything was normal except for the bomb that had just exploded in my inbox. I didn't sleep that night. By morning, I'd watched the video 4 more times, hoping I was wrong, hoping it wasn't him, hoping the stranger who sent it was lying. But it was him, and they weren't lying. I called Rebecca at 7 a.m. "This better be important," she groaned. "I don't have to be at work until 9. Tyler cheated on Madison. Silence. Then, what? I told her everything. The email, the video, the Vegas bachelor party. Holy shit, Rebecca breathed. What are you going to do? I don't know. Do I tell Madison? Do I confront Tyler? Do I tell my parents? Do you have proof? I have the video. Then you have power. The question is, what do you want to do with it? I spent the next week agonizing over the decision. Part of me wanted to forward the video to Madison immediately. She deserved to know. But Tyler would know the information came from me, and the fallout would be nuclear. My parents would blame me for ruining Tyler's relationship. Tyler would call me vindictive and jealous. Part of me wanted to confront Tyler privately, give him a chance to come clean on his own. But I knew my brother. He would deny it, gaslight me, and find a way to make me the villain. Part of me wanted to tell my parents, but they'd always chosen Tyler. Always. They'd find a way to excuse his behavior. Boys will be boys. He was drunk. It was just one mistake. So I did nothing. I saved the video on a flash drive and tucked it away in my desk drawer, trying to focus on the final wedding preparations. But Tyler made that impossible. 2 weeks before the wedding, he called me. Hey, Soph, quick question. Would it be okay if Madison catches your bouquet at the reception? What? The bouquet toss. Madison really wants to catch it. It would mean a lot to her. And, since we're probably getting engaged soon anyway. Tyler, you can't rig the bouquet toss. I'm not rigging anything. I'm just asking if you could, toss it in her direction. That's literally rigging it. Come on, Soph. Don't be difficult. It's just a bouquet. It's my wedding, Tyler. Yeah, and I'm your brother. And I'm just asking for one small thing. I hung up on him. He texted me an hour later. Fine. Be selfish. Forget I asked. That night, I took the flash drive out of my desk drawer and showed the video to Alex. He watched in silence, his jaw clenching tighter with every second. That piece of shit, Alex finally said. Are you going to tell Madison? I don't know. Are you going to tell your parents? I don't know. Alex took my hand. Whatever you decide, I support you. But Sophia, you need to do something. You can't let him get away with this. What if I wait? I said slowly. What if I see what he does at the wedding? If he behaves himself, I'll let it go. But if he tries to make our wedding about him... Alex raised an eyebrow. Then what? I looked at the flash drive in my hand. Then I'll show everyone who Tyler really is. The wedding day. The morning of my wedding, I woke up at 6 a.m. in a hotel suite with Rebecca and my bridesmaids, my cousin Natalie and Alex's sister Emma. I felt surprisingly calm. Hair and makeup started at 7. Breakfast arrived at 8 croissants, fruit, mimosas. We laughed, took photos, played our favorite playlist. It felt like the perfect pre-wedding morning. At 10 a.m., my mother arrived. She hugged me carefully, mindful of my partially finished makeup. You look beautiful, sweetheart. I can't believe my baby is getting married. For a moment, I felt like the most important person in her world. Then her phone rang. Oh, it's Tyler, she said, stepping into the hallway to answer. She came back 5 minutes later, looking stressed. Tyler can't find his cufflinks, the ones your father gave him. He thinks he left them at the house. I need to run back and check. Mom, the ceremony starts in 4 hours. I know, I'll be quick. I'll be back in time, I promise. She left. She didn't make it back in time for photos. She showed up 20 minutes before the ceremony, flustered and apologetic, with Tyler's cufflinks in hand. I found them, she announced proudly. Tyler was so relieved. I smiled tightly. I'm glad. The ceremony was beautiful. Alex cried when I walked down the aisle. We exchanged vows we'd written ourselves. My father, who rarely showed emotion, teared up during his speech. For 3 perfect hours, everything was exactly as I'd dreamed. Then the reception started. Tyler gave his best man speech during dinner. It was charming, funny, nostalgic. He talked about growing up together, about how proud he was of me, about how Alex better treat me right, or he'd have to answer to me. Everyone laughed. Everyone clapped. It was a perfect speech. And then he pulled out the ring box. I watched him propose to Madison at my wedding, during my reception, in front of my guests, and something inside me snapped. This was it. The final straw. The last time Tyler would steal my moment. I stood up. The room quieted. "Congratulations, Tyler and Madison," I said, my voice amplified by the microphone Rebecca quickly handed me. "What a beautiful moment. And since we're sharing special moments tonight, I have something to share too." Tyler's smile faltered. "Rebecca, could you bring me the flash drive?" Rebecca moved quickly, pulling the small silver flash drive from her clutch and handing it to our videographer, who I'd quietly briefed during the cocktail hour about this exact possibility. "What are you doing?" Tyler asked, his voice uneasy. "I'm sharing," I said sweetly. "It's a night for sharing, right?" The lights dimmed. The projector screen, which had displayed our photo slideshow earlier, flickered to life. And there, in front of 200 guests, was Tyler. Shirtless, in a Vegas hotel suite, with a woman who wasn't Madison. The room fell into shocked silence. Madison's hand flew to her mouth. The ring Tyler had just placed on her finger caught the light. "Sophia, what the hell?" Tyler started. 3 weeks ago, I interrupted, my voice steady. "Someone sent me this video. It's from your bachelor party in Vegas. The one you told Madison was just the guys. The one you told Mom and Dad was totally chill." On screen, Tyler was kissing the woman, his hands roaming, both of them laughing. "Turn it off!" Tyler roared, lunging toward the videographer. Alex stepped in front of him. "Don't!" Madison stood up, tears streaming down her face. "You told me nothing happened in Vegas. You swore." "Baby, it's not what it looks like." "It's exactly what it looks like," Madison screamed. She ripped the ring off her finger and threw it at him. It bounced off his chest and clattered to the floor. The room erupted in chaos. People were gasping, shouting, pulling out their phones. My mother stood frozen, her face pale. My father was yelling at the videographer to turn off the projector. Madison ran out of the reception hall, sobbing. Tyler chased after her, followed by half the guests who wanted to see what would happen next. The projector finally went dark. I stood at the head table, my heart pounding, and looked at the remaining guests. "Dessert will be served in 15 minutes, I said calmly, "and the dance floor is open." The fallout. The DJ, bless him, started playing Uptown Funk. A few people awkwardly made their way to the dance floor. Most stood in clusters, whispering and staring at me. My mother appeared at my side, her face red with fury. "How could you do that?" she hissed. "You humiliated your brother. You ruined his engagement." "He ruined my wedding reception," I shot back. "He proposed to his girlfriend at my wedding, after I specifically asked him not to make it about himself. It was a romantic gesture. It was selfish and disrespectful. And honestly, Mom, Madison deserved to know the truth before she married him." "That wasn't your truth to tell." "Yes, it was. Someone sent me that video. What was I supposed to do? Let her marry a cheater?" My father joined us, his jaw tight. "Sophia, that was completely inappropriate. Whatever issues you have with Tyler airing them publicly, like he aired his engagement publicly at my wedding? That's different. How? How is it different?" My father had no answer. Tyler returned to the reception 10 minutes later, alone. Madison was gone. One of her friends had driven her home. His face was red, his eyes furious. He walked straight up to me. "You're a vindictive bitch," he said loudly enough for nearby tables to hear. Alex stood up immediately, positioning himself between us. "Watch your mouth." "Stay out of this," Tyler snapped. "This is between me and my sister." "Your sister is my wife," Alex said calmly. "And if you speak to her like that again, we're going to have a problem." Tyler laughed bitterly. "Of course you're taking her side. You have no idea what she's really like. She's always been jealous of me. Always. and tonight she finally got her revenge. Revenge? I stood up, my voice shaking with rage. You cheated on your girlfriend, Tyler. You lied to her. You disrespected my wedding. And somehow, I'm the villain. You showed a private video to 200 people. You proposed at my wedding because I was happy, because I wanted to share my joy. On my day, everything is always about you. My entire life has been about you. Your football games, your awards, your scholarships, your career. And the one day that was supposed to be about me, you couldn't let me have it. Tyler's expression hardened. You're pathetic, you know that? You've spent your whole life in my shadow, and instead of actually achieving something yourself, you tear me down. Get out, I said quietly. What? Get out of my wedding now. You can't kick me out. Mom, Dad, tell her. Get out, Alex repeated, his voice hard, or I'll have security remove you. Tyler looked at our parents, expecting them to defend him, but my mother was crying, and my father looked exhausted. Just go, Tyler, my father said quietly. Just go. Tyler stared at all of us, his face a mixture of rage and disbelief. Then he turned and walked out. I didn't see him again that night. The reception continued. Slowly, tentatively, people returned to celebrating. We cut the cake. We had our first dance. Some guests came up to me quietly, squeezing my hand, telling me I'd done the right thing. Others avoided eye contact. My Aunt Carol cornered me near the dessert table. That was cruel, Sophia, she said coldly. Tyler made a mistake, but you didn't have to destroy him publicly. He destroyed himself, I replied. I just made sure Madison knew who she was marrying. You're going to regret this. Family is family. Then maybe family should act like it. By the end of the night, I was exhausted, emotionally drained. Alex and I said goodbye to our remaining guests, thanked our vendors, and finally collapsed into the back of the car that would take us to our hotel. Are you okay? Alex asked softly. I thought about it. Thought about Tyler's face when the video played. Thought about Madison crying. Thought about my mother's anger and my father's disappointment. Yeah, I said finally. I think I am. Do you regret it? No, do you? Alex pulled me close. Not for a second, I'm proud of you. I leaned into him and closed my eyes. For the first time in my life, I'd chosen myself over keeping Tyler happy, and it felt like freedom. Finding my voice. It's been 8 months since my wedding. 8 months since I played that video. 8 months since I watched my brother's engagement implode in real time. Here's what happened after. Tyler and Madison broke up that night. She texted me 3 days later. Thank you. I deserved to know. I'm sorry he ruined your wedding. I told her she had nothing to apologize for. We got coffee 2 weeks later. She told me the Vegas trip wasn't the first time Tyler had cheated, just the first time there was proof. She's dating someone new now, someone who, according to her Instagram, treats her like a queen. My parents didn't speak to me for 2 months. My mother sent me an email 3 weeks after the wedding saying I'd torn the family apart and publicly shamed her son. I didn't respond. My father called on my birthday in August. Your mother isn't ready to talk yet, he said, but I wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Thanks, Dad. What you did at the wedding, I don't agree with how you did it, but I understand why. It wasn't an apology, but it was something. Tyler blocked me on everything. Phone, social media, email. For a while I mourned the loss of my brother, but then I realized I hadn't lost my brother. I'd just stopped pretending we had the relationship I wished we had instead of the relationship we actually had. I heard through family gossip that he moved to Denver for a new job, that he's dating someone new, that he tells people I'm mentally unstable and jealous of his success. Let him. I know the truth. Alex and I are thriving. We bought a small house in Brooklyn. We adopted a cat named Waffles. We're happy. And on the nights when I doubt myself, when I wonder if I was too harsh, too cruel, too vindictive, Alex reminds me, you set a boundary. You protected someone from being deceived, and you refused to let your brother hijack your wedding. That's not cruel, that's self-respect. I started therapy. Turns out, growing up as the invisible child leaves scars. I'm working through them, learning that my worth isn't determined by my parents' approval, that I don't have to shrink myself to make other people comfortable. My therapist asked me recently, if you could go back to your wedding day, would you do anything differently? I thought about it for a long time. No, I finally said, I wouldn't. The lessons I learned. 1. You can't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. I spent my whole life managing Tyler's ego, making myself smaller so he could feel bigger. The wedding was the first time I refused, and yes, it caused an explosion, but that explosion was inevitable. I just finally lit the match. Boundaries without consequences are just suggestions. I'd asked Tyler not to propose at my wedding. He did it anyway. If I'd done nothing, I would have taught him that my boundaries don't matter, that he can do whatever he wants without repercussions. 3. The truth is uncomfortable, but lies are corrosive. Was it uncomfortable to play that video? Absolutely. But the alternative was letting Madison marry someone who had betrayed her trust. Sometimes kindness looks like discomfort. 4. Not everyone will understand your choices. That's okay. Half my family thinks I'm a hero, half thinks I'm a villain. I've learned I can't control their narratives. I can only control my own. 5. You teach people how to treat you. For 30 years, I taught my family that Tyler's happiness mattered more than mine, that his moments were more important, that I would always step aside. The wedding was the first time I taught them something different. 6. Protecting yourself isn't the same as being cruel. I didn't play that video to hurt Tyler. I played it to protect Madison and to reclaim my wedding. If Tyler felt hurt, it was because his own actions had consequences. 7. Sometimes the family you need isn't the family you're born into. I have Alex. I have Rebecca. I have Alex's family, who treat me like a daughter. I have friends who celebrate me. That's my family now. 8. Your voice matters. I spent so long being quiet, being agreeable, being easy. I thought that's what made me good, but all it made me was invisible. Finding my voice even when it was loud, even when it was uncomfortable, changed everything. A letter to anyone reading this who sees themselves in my story. If you've spent your life playing second fiddle to a sibling who gets all the attention, if you've been told you're too sensitive when you try to set boundaries, if you've watched someone you love make the same selfish choices over and over, if you've ever wondered if speaking up would make you the villain, please hear me. You are not responsible for protecting people from the consequences of their own actions. You are not obligated to stay silent just because the truth is messy. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to have boundaries and enforce them. You are allowed to choose yourself. It might cost you relationships. It might make people uncomfortable. It might turn you into the bad guy in someone else's story. But here's what I've learned. The people who matter will understand. And the ones who don't? They were never really on your side to begin with. Last month, I got a text from an unknown number. Sophia, it's Tyler. I know we haven't talked in a while, but I wanted you to know I'm in therapy. I'm working on myself. And I'm starting to understand why you did what you did at your wedding. I'm not ready to talk yet, but maybe someday. I hope you're happy. I read that text 5 times. Part of me wanted to respond immediately, to say, I'm proud of you, or I'm here when you're ready. But I didn't, because Tyler's healing journey is his, not mine. I've spent enough of my life managing his emotions, fixing his problems, and making excuses for his behavior. Maybe someday we'll have a relationship again. Maybe we won't. Either way, I'll be okay. Because I finally learned the most important lesson of all. I don't need anyone's permission to live my truth. Not my brother's, not my parents', not anyone's. My wedding day was messy and chaotic, and nothing like the fairy tale I'd planned. But it was also the day I finally found my voice, and I wouldn't trade that for anything.